What is essential for the entrepreneur's toolkit? Hi, I'm Jane Muir, and I'm a business lawyer here in Miami. It really depends on what kind of business an entrepreneur is starting. If you're a service business, then you really need to have a client agreement because it needs to be abundantly clear what services that you're going to provide and how you're going to be measured for success. Clients can be really problematic because they may believe that they're not getting what value they're entitled to, but if you're an expert in your field and they aren't, they have no way to know what your deliverables should be. So you have to itemize those deliverables in your agreement very clearly, and you want to make sure that it's clear where the dispute will be resolved if it goes to court. So you want a forum selection clause for that. You need to make sure it reflects the choice of law that is appropriate for the situation. So for instance, Florida law. You want to make sure that if you win, you can win your attorney's fees and costs. And there are a few other important key clauses like a merger clause that have to go into this agreement to make sure that everybody's clear that the agreement is the only agreement between the parties. If you're selling goods, it's a little different because especially if you're selling goods on a wholesale basis, so numerous goods to one purchaser, it needs to be clear when delivery has been achieved. Is delivery upon departure from your warehouse, or is it upon receipt by the customer? And in between those two places, your goods can get lost. Like a container can fall off a ship, or a truck can be burned for, vandalism. Anything can happen. So you want to make sure that your receipt of payment is occurring before any risk of loss can happen to the goods in delivery, and ensure that loss by getting commercial insurance. Another good way to handle a goods business if you're selling to individual purchasers is to use terms of use on your website. And Apple is a great example of a company that does this because we all scroll through all the terms of use without looking at them and then click accept. Well, if you get in a dispute with Apple, those terms of use are what govern the dispute and make sure that the dispute is handled in California, under California law, or even by arbitration, which is not usually very favorable to litigants because it's more expensive and kind of a burden on the people who are involved. So regardless of what kind of company you have, whether it's services or goods, it's critical to have a very strong and enforceable agreement with your customers.